Alright, welcome back to Danksco Traders Hub. Yes, it's been a while. Welcome back. It's been a while, I think 2 weeks now. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks ever since we last traded together. So as usual, without any further ado, you know the drill, you know how we do this. If it is your first time here, of course, go ahead and subscribe. Yeah, and if it is your first time, we always start with a prayer before we get into the charts. So now let's get into the charts, and let's pray and then get into the charts. Father, we say thank you for today. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your love and kindness upon our lives, Lord. Thank you that we are back to this session that we normally have, Lord, in the morning, trading, live trading, and getting signals that you provide. We give you praise, Lord, for the previous months and the whole year actually. And now as we start again, as we embark onto this journey, Lord, we ask of the same grace and blessing upon our lives, that we may get signals today and even throughout the whole of this month and the whole of year, oh Lord, as we trade together here on this YouTube channel. We give you praise, we love you. Thank you for the signals and the great insights that you're giving us today in the market, and thank you for the profits that we're making today. We give you praise, we give you all the honor. In Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. Alright, so now we get into the charts. And you know the drill, as usual, we start with crash 500. So let's get into crash 500. Excuse me. So we are going to go straight to daily because we need to know where we stopped at. Yeah, or daily we were looking for that, and then we get into sales, and we thought the sales would actually head all the way to this fair value gap. It never reached. It came to this confluence area right about there. It only came back to that confluence area and went back into the buys. So we know that we've been in the buy for the past, I think, about 2 weeks. For the past 2 weeks we've been buying crash 500, but where we've reached now, we sort of have a conference area, or call it a resistance somewhere there. Let me drag this to in fact make it a bit smaller. Looking at where we are right there, you see that that's sort of like a resistance area right about there, and price has been reaching there, getting back into sales. That's why if you look at our current market where we are, you'll see that on CCI it is showing that we are overbought, meaning we can anticipate sales. Remember, this is daily time frame, means on H4 we're already looking at sales, and that is what it is actually looking at price being below our 10 MA right about there. So go back to weekly. Remember, weekly we had this lower low, we had this lower low, but then we also had this lower high. It was taken out, but we cannot conclude that that was a perfect change of character. That's why the anticipation is again price to come probably back to that level, so that we can confirm the buys. But from where we are here, from where we were here, seeing what we have here, that would have been our change of character right there to give us the buys. So we haven't seen any. This would be like our first higher high right there, and then if it means that for it to confirm, it will probably come all the way back to this fair value gap according to the weekly. So I would eventually delete all this, delete everything right there. It's not really necessary, and then have this as our fair value gap just below the change of character. That could be an ideal level for price to come back to before we get to see buys again. Hopefully the buys that can easily break this resistance level. So now that I've seen something like that, I can head back to daily time frame, look at what I have here, and I see the sales are on. All right, so can we enter some sales today? Let's go to H4. H4 price is below our 10 MA but with low momentum. Okay, this candle had some good momentum. The current candle, it's going to close within the next 14 minutes, and right when I get to H1, I see a double top right there, and I see my neckline here. So or call it a change of character. So all I need now is a reversal. Price can easily come to first try to take out these highs right there, or it can easily react around this fair value gap. So know where to anticipate and wait for the price. So if price comes to this, and then goes below our 10 MA on M15, then you make your entries right there. But then if it breaks that and continues, then you know that it's going to look for these highs to try and actually take them out, and that's how you can make your sell entries right about there. So it can easily go all the way, up to try and try to take these highs out. Yeah, all right, so I think that's it for me. Let me go to M15 actually. Yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. The buys are on currently on M15 because it has to come and test either those highs to try and take them out, or actually to come to this fair value gap according to H1 that we've just seen. So why is it reacting here? If you go to M15 and just make it a bit smaller, you will see that that's a conference area, and that's where price has been reacting on. You can see that area, this whole area right there, and that's why price is reacting on it right there. So for now, don't rush into any sales. If you can wait for the buy here. Can go to M5, wait for it to give you an actual entry, and enter this as a scalping buy to go at least to this fair value gap according to H1, and then move out, then wait, it may give you a retest, and then continue to try and take those highs, or it gives you an entry for the sales to come and actually break this conference area right about here. So for now, just wait for this H1 to close, and we see what we can deal with this asset. All right, that's enough. I've talked a lot on V, on jump 20, on crash 500, and I believe that's enough for now. Yes, good morning, Desmond, how are you? And the rest of you guys who are on or are already live on this session. Let's now head over to Boom 1000. Boom 1000. So those who trade crash, you know what to do, you know where to wait for and what to anticipate. So boom, 1,000. Let's first go to daily time frame. So according to daily time frame, we knew two things before I went away for those 2 weeks. We knew that this was a resistance area right about there, but according to the previous trend, we wanted price to break out and continue with the buys. Up to now, it hasn't decided. It is still playing within that level. It is still playing within that structure right about there. So it's still a bit risky for anyone to engage in it and really do anything, unless if you're a scalper. So let's now look at what is happening. First drag this to this side, and I want to first delete these. All this, you can see where we stopped at, all this happened, all those movements happened. So I hope you guys kept in the market and made that money. Yeah, all these movements happened. So let's delete all that, back to daily. Okay, that is something. Then let me first get to know why I had this. First go to weekly. Weekly, we are in a downtrend. Weekly, we are in a downtrend. Now, the reason why I had this line here, that was our change of character according to weekly. We wanted a fake breakout on that resistance to first get at least to that neckline, or call it the change of character line there, and then give us bring us back into the sells. Why? Because on the weekly time frame we are bearish, and you can see price is approaching, is heading below the 10 MA level right here. So that tells you that sellers are still strong, even though it did not do what we wanted right here, where we wanted it to come at least to that level. But from what we've seen according to daily, it seems it is now ready to continue with sells. So I'm going to first remove, I'm not going to remove it for now. I'm just going to hold it for now, because from what we are seeing, this level is a strong support right there. It's failing to break it, that level. Let's go to H4, check it out. Yeah, that level is still a strong support. Can we, yeah, looking at H4 is now oversold, meaning one can anticipate buys, but price is still above, is still below our 10 MA, meaning sellers are still strong. However, if you go to H1, you realize something that can eventually happen. This can be taken as our left shoulder. This right there, this can be taken as our left shoulder. So all we need is price to come and react to this level, and that is to come and react to that level. And then if it fails to break it to go all the way down, then we will be anticipating a heads and shoulder move, which will bring us back into buys. Remember, we've already seen that H4 is oversold. Yep, H1 is giving us this kind of structure, which is likely to end up as a heads and shoulder. This will be our neckline right about there, but we can only assume. It is not yet perfect, it's not yet confirmed. So the sell according to M15 and of course M5 is still on, but we can only wait for it when it reaches here to anticipate a buy on that level, trying to anticipate an inverted heads and shoulder from such a level. meaning if it comes around, you will be looking for this kind of a profit. You'll be looking for at least you'll be looking for price to come and try to take these highs out. That will be your TP, but of course the general TP, the overall TP is right about there. That is how we calculate our exit or our TP from an inverted heads and shoulder. So for now, I have no business with this asset until it comes to this level and probably gives me an entry, because the general trend is still a downtrend. We are still bearish according to weekly time frame, and of course even daily we've seen that it is now overbought, meaning sellers are becoming stronger. But there is a support area where we are currently, meaning buys can come in a bit. So that's what we are trying to anticipate from such a level or from such a structure that we currently see on H1. All right, enough of boom 1000. So now we can head over to boom 500. I hope those who trade boom 1000, you've picked one or two things that you can anticipate on and wait for your entries. Boom 500. Oh yes, Julius, thank you. Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks. I'm back. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you Patrick, welcome. Yeah, so boom 500. Let's now look at boom 500. Now boom 500, before I broke off and went for those 2 weeks, we were anticipating the general trend was still a buy, and of course it did that. So let's go to H4 first to understand what was happening. Yes, you can see the general trend was a buy. We were having the highs and lows, highs and lows, higher highs and higher lows, and our anticipation around that level never came through. We wanted price to reach there and then first come back for the sell. It never came through, so it continued with the buy. So let's go to weekly and understand what is up. So weekly, remember this support on weekly, and then came this was a lower low. Oh really? Yes. And then it gave us a change of character right there. So we wanted price actually to come and confirm the change of character so that we can get into buys for some full swing. All right, so now that we know that, let's now delete all these, and we first have some clarity. So let's delete all that. This can also go, that can also go. So go back to weekly. So this was a lower low, lower high, came here and then gave us a change of character. So now we know that without a doubt, or without a doubt actually, we know that it's going to eventually come around that level. There's nothing that it left back here, so it has to come around that level. There's a fair value gap in here, right about there, according to a weekly time frame. So we know that it will eventually come around this area, this fair value gap, or that order block down here. So we know that. Let's go to daily. Daily, we are overbought, but we have a current higher high, and this is our higher low. So if price fails to break that higher high, then we'll be anticipating this move. That is on a daily time frame. According to H4, it's a bit weird, but we can still follow daily. But let me show you what I'm seeing on H4. This is what I see on H4. So it can be clear. First delete this. It can be clear on daily on H1, but let me do this. This is likely to happen. Why? Because that is a pennant. So this is likely to happen. Remember, we are still bullish. So whatever it does, it can easily first give you this and then come down below. According to H4, that is what I see. That is a pennant. Let's go to H1, and that's how it becomes clear. That's how it becomes clear right there. It will eventually break and give us this. But before it breaks, it can first play around here, because according to H1, we are still in a downtrend. We are still looking for sales according to H1. So go to M15, see how we can enter some sales. Not really. M15 is not yet ready to give us some sales. Is not yet ready to give us some sales. But M5 is ready. M5 is ready. That is a confirmation right there. Price coming back to that change of character level or to that neckline. But all we need now is price to be below our 10 MA. So we can only wait. A new H4 has just started, because it is 11 a.m. now as we speak. So something is about to happen. We are about to sell this asset. We are about to sell this asset. But I can't enter now unless price goes below my 10 MA, probably on M5, then I can enter. Yeah, so I'm not ready to make this mistake to make a sell now, because it can easily continue and break out and give us this move that I've told you that we will eventually see. This move right there, I've told you we will eventually see. It's going to be according to daily time frame, just like that. So for now, no business. We have to wait. Confirmation will be price to be below our 10 MA, probably on M15, for you to make your sell entry. Until then, don't make that mistake to make an entry. It's risky. If you do enter now and looking for an early entry, then you will have to have a tight stop loss, which is right about there. And of course, you know, if it comes right there, if price spikes and comes there, it will eventually take much more than you are risking. Why? Because it spikes. This is booms. These are booms. They don't respect your stop losses if you're selling. They only respect your stop losses if you're buying. Enough of that. Let's now leave it at M15. Yeah, let's leave it at M5. Let's go to V25S. Alright, so V25S, start from daily. So what we were looking for this. Let's go to H4, drag it here in the center. So we wanted this, which happened. So I believe you guys made that money before we broke off. So that happened, and then we wanted buys from that very level to come through. They also came through actually, even though they never reached our target. Yeah, so those who kept on, you know, coming back to the analysis, you should have, you know, made this money because it followed the analysis right here. So this move happened. So now we can delete everything right here. this, even that. So delete, go back to daily. So delete this. So price came back to this order block according to daily time frame. We wanted it to also reach that level and then bring us right here. What is that level? It's an order block. It's a support area. That's a support area right about there. It's according to daily time frame. How about weekly? Weekly, we've been in a downtrend but not confirmed, even though price is below a 10 MA. The reason why I say it's not confirmed is because that is a higher high right about there. This is a higher low, so we haven't seen a change of character according to weekly time frame. So we can't say we are in a downtrend. Yeah, we can't say we are in a downtrend. We are still in an uptrend according to weekly time frame. All right, so what are you saying, Dan? What are you saying? So now I will go to daily and I see something like that. And I see something like that. Something like that. That becomes like a flag. Yeah. That becomes like a flag right about there. This clearly tells you the sale is still on and it's likely to come to our point of interest right here, which is our order block. I've just shown you it's a support area right there. So we know that we know it will eventually break and come here, either to this same support. From what we see, it can easily even break and come to this other support down below here. So how are we going to trade this? For now, we see price rejection from buyers right there. I mean from sellers, price rejection from sellers, pushing price to bearish. But buyers are also, holding their ground. You can see from that these previous daily candles, you can see that the buyers are also pushing back. Sellers are pushing, buyers are pushing. So we've already seen that we have a flag. Then we know that eventually it will break and continue to sell. And since we saw this kind of a price rejection right here on this candle, let's go to H4, see it properly. Since we saw that kind of rejection, I believe sellers are coming through right now. Yes, I would have liked it when price at least would have gone back to that level, but it's likely not to happen. Why? Because of this that we've seen here, that kind of rejection coming in from sellers. So all we need now is just to be patient, because price is going to continue selling. Sales are on. So can we enter sales now? You can, but it's better to wait. It's better to wait and price breaks this trend line, and then you can make your immediate entries for sales. Yeah, but sales are on without a doubt. Sales are on. Sales are coming, and you can wait for them. You can wait for them. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Sales are on, so it's going to break that and immediately even break this trend line, and that will be our perfect entry. So if I enter here, I may not put a stop loss, because for me to put a stop loss, I will need to put it all the way up there. That is where I would be probably looking at putting my stop loss. And if I put it here, chances are high for it to be taken out, giving a fake breakout. So let's have them there and just wait and see if actually price will react to that level. So going to H1 is a bit tricky. CCI shows we are oversold H1, but remember we are following what we are seeing on higher time frame. H4 says we are looking for sales. H1 says we are oversold. If M15 is ready to give me sales, I can easily enter. So M15 price is below at 10 MA, and I think I can make my scalping entry here. This can be a scalp entry. This can be a scalp entry to look for this short profit, this short trade right here to come back here. But of course your first TP is right here, just on this low, and then your other TP is right there. So let's mark them and see if price will come to that and hit those two TP levels. The third one I've told you is right here, down below here, but you're having your stop loss here. It's a tight stop loss. This is a scalping trade I'm in now of sell. I want to sell it. First, take this profit, then second, take the profit right here, then third, I'll be looking at taking the profit all the way to this trend line that we have, that we've already seen, this trend line right there. That is where I would anticipate price to come for my third TP. All right, enough of V25S. Now let's go to V75. V75. Excuse me. So V75, those who remember, I think you guys followed the analysis. You remember when we were here and I told you the general trend is still a sell, even though we came to the weekly support right about there. So apparently you see that. Okay, let's go first to weekly, zoom in. So this is the thing. We saw the breakout. That was last week. I mean the first week that I was in a NOC conference. So that was a breakout. Then this was previous week, last week, that was a retest, and now this week has started as a strong sell. You can see it. You can see it. It means that price is coming right here. Remember when I told you this, that the sell is still on? It's likely to come to that level. That's what we are looking at. So having said that, go back to our daily time frame. What are you seeing? We are seeing prices below our 10 MA, and it has just retested that level, meaning according to daily, you can easily make your sell entry and have your stop loss above your 10 MA. According to H4, you can wait probably for a pullback, then you enter the sell. Yeah, so for this one I may not enter it, but if I was looking for a swing trade to hold, this would be one of those that I can enter. Why? I know that it's coming right here. Yeah, I know it, but if I enter, it means I will have my stop loss above here, or above this candle, just below, I mean just above my 10 MA, and that will be a trade to hold. That will be a trade to hold, meaning you can hold it, take some partial profits when it comes to this lower low, because anything is possible. It can easily come to this and then bounce off to give us buys from there. You understand? So this would be your other position to take your partial profits, and then if it breaks it, then you continue to take your full profits right on this level. So enough of this. I'm not going to go to lower time frame because lower time frame will confuse you from where we are. According to CCI, it will confuse you and it will be like you're looking for buys, yet the general trend is a sell, and you can see it is still pushing for sells. So for now, I wouldn't use lower time frame to analyze this asset. Probably what you could do is wait for price to reach such a conference area right there, and then see if probably you'll see a pullback. If you don't see one and it continue to break, then you know you cannot do anything. You just have to wait. But for now, if it reaches this level, I would anticipate a pullback, just a short pullback for those who miss to enter, and then we easily come to break this level because it is a conference area. Price had that activity going on, failing to make a decision right there, so that's why it is likely to react on that same level to give us a pullback that we can anticipate on and make our entries for the sell. So for now, no business with V75. Let's go to jump 50. All right, so jump 50, jump 50, before we broke off, we were looking for sells. This was the move that we wanted, and also this. So this happened, but coming all the way back to this never happened. So now we can delete these. Can delete all these, delete them. All right, we can remain with this as a support area. So according to weekly, we are overbought. We need sells. We need sells according to weekly. According to weekly, we need sells. Yeah, this is going to be taken as a pennant according to monthly time frame. So if it is a pennant and we are overbought, it means we are now looking for the sells to continue the previous trend, which is that level right there. That would be the analysis right there to anticipate. That will be the move to anticipate according to weekly. All right, so when we go to daily time frame, we clearly see the price came to that level, which is according to H4. That was a level right there, and then price started to sell, started to push back into sell. According to daily time frame, we were overbought right there, and then we started to sell, and now price has now reacted back to that trend line, means we need to look for sells. So let's now maximize it a little bit. H4 we are overbought, means we now need to wait for price to be below our 10 MA. And remember, okay, it's a bit tricky. This is a bit tricky. All right, so we have our resistance up there according to H1. We have that resistance right about there. So what we need is a confirmation of this entry, a confirmation to enter these cells. All right, so go to M15. Yes, yeah, it is actually going to happen. It is actually going to happen. So we need this kind of move on M15, and then we enter sells. If it fails to break that level, I'll just wait for price to come back again below my 10 MA, probably on M5, and that will be my entry to sell this asset. So we are going to sell this asset, and of course I'll be looking at taking my TPs just below here around such a support area on H1. All right, so that's it on J50. Sells are on, but the confirmation or the entry is not yet ready, so we have to be patient a little bit. We need a pullback there to try to take those highs, and then we come in with a sell. So that's what is happening currently. All right, J25. Look at that sell. So before we broke off, we knew this. We wanted price to reach there, that fair value gap. We had already marked it, and you can see it went to that 50% of that fair value gap, and immediately the sell came through. Even though it had given us this fake change of character for that buy, you can see the previous thing we were looking for sells. Why? Because it had reached that order block. Eventually it reached our point of interest, which was that fair value gap, and sells came in strong to give us a break of structure right about there. So currently we are looking at our lower low. Currently it's trying to give us a lower low where we are currently. Yeah, all right, so now that we know all that, let's first delete what we don't need. So delete all that. Oh, we can keep this fair value gap for now. That can go. All right, so get to weekly. This fair value gap was never respected. This we can take it out, but it's likely to respect this OB according to weekly. That's where we are currently. This is the order block where the buy momentum right here started from. So that's why this can be a crucial point for a pullback to give us a lower high. So this is a level that you can anticipate a lower high to come right about there, and then come again for the sell to eventually break that support. All right, so for us to confirm that this is a level, we need to go to H4 and look at H4. H4 is oversold. It has given us a lower low. This is a lower high right there. You can see that is a break of structure right there. So price has returned to it to give us a lower low, a lower high. So it means price is now selling. But if it fails to break this previous lower low, then the buy will come through to look for a lower high according to daily time frame. So let's go to H1. H1, yes, it is same thing as we've seen on H4. So let's go to M15. So M15, the sell is on. All we need is price to fail to break this conference area or this low, and then we come in with our buy entries from this angle right there. So that's all we need on this level. If it breaks this level and continues, then we can only wait until we see if it will either break this support, of which I doubt it will right now. It has to first give us this lower high to get enough momentum to actually push for the breakout on this order block or on this support level. Alright, so enough of that. Let's leave this on M15 and now let's go to J10. J10. So J10, those who remember, I told you we will wait for this pullback, then we continue with the buy. Those who remember, after price breaking this level, I told you price will eventually come to test after the breakout so that the buys can continue, and that's what happened. We broke off when we were looking for that kind of a move, and you can see the move happened and then buys came in later. All right, so we don't need this, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need this, so let's delete that. All right, so that's what we are seeing, and this is actually a pennant. According to daily time frame, that's a pennant. A weird one, but it is a pennant. So if that's a pennant, then you know that buys are still holding the cards. There's nothing like looking for sells on a higher time frame. You're looking for buys. Yeah, so if we are looking for buys, it means the only safe way to trade this asset is to also follow the trend. So unless if you are a risk taker like me, who trades retest trades like this and then come in later with buys, then you do that, but it is risky, like I've told you. So you rather wait for price to reach here and then you come in with your buys. Why? Because the general trend is a buy, and eventually it will end up giving us this very move right about there after this pennant. So meaning it will eventually break out to give us that kind of a move to break even this very level. So now that we've seen all this, how delete that, we've already seen that. So go to daily. We don't need this, we don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. Delete. Okay, so go to H4. The buy is on, and in fact we may not see price come all the way back here. Since it is a pennant, price may not actually come again down below here. It may actually continue with a buy. Why? Because price is above our 10 MA and it has just reacted here. It has just retested. So let's go to H1. H1 says it is likely to first go down again. I doubt it will. Let's check this out according to H1. It has broken out according to H1. So I think we have an entry for the buys, though M15 is not confirming that yet. So I would wait for M15 to be above my 10 MA for me to come in with my buys. Yeah, so for now, no business on J10. I have to wait for M15 to be above my 10 MA, then I can make the buys, because we are buying. This is the general trend is buys. Lastly is gold. Gold. Let's look at gold and we call it a day. So the previous time we saw gold, we We knew this, we knew that the general trend is a buy, but when it reached this level, we wanted sales to come through here, right there, so that it can gain enough momentum to break that support. Eventually, it did not need the retest. I think it got some weird momentum to break that level, and it continued with the buys. So now we can delete these, and we're already seeing excuse me, we're already seeing that price has actually hit our target right there. This was our target. Eventually that was our target. Price has already hit that target. Let's go to weekly and understand weekly. So this was the reason why we were looking for that target. That was the reason. That's a pennant, and that is the target, and it has been reached, and it has given us a break of structure. So we clearly see, according to weekly, that is a weak high, meaning it will be taken out. But before it is taken out, price may first try to look for try to give us a higher low around such an area, right about there. It may first look for a higher low right there, then come back for come again for the buys. So go to H4. Let's confirm this. H4 is still looking for the sells, so the sells are on, just like I've just told you. All right, let's go to daily. H1. H1 is crazy. It's still looking for buys. H1 is still looking for buys in a weird way. H1 is likely to first go for such a move right there. Then we come in with the sells. So let's see if that is something that is likely to happen on gold. But for now, I cannot enter gold. Why? Because of what I've just seen. Yes, this level is becoming strong support right there. You can see price has been reacting to that level. So we have to wait. We have to wait. It's likely to test back that level before we come in with some strong sells. M15 says the buys, just like I'm seeing on H1. So the buy is likely to break through, to break this level and continue to reach that level. So for now, no business with gold. That's it for today. Let's do a recap and we call it a day. Alright, so we started with crash. We know that it's going to give us this move. That's what we are waiting for. We need a confirmation in M15. Yeah, I see prices coming above our 10 MA. Is that enough for us? It could be enough. Yeah, a new H4 has started. Let's see. Could be enough. Yeah, I think I can enter buys. It can be enough right there. I'm gonna put my stop loss right here, and I'll be looking more for my first TP right in there. That is what I'll be looking at. Yeah, boom 1000. We need price to reach there. Like I told you, you can see it continue to sell. It is looking for this level. If it reaches this level, all I need is for it to start buying, and probably on M15 and M5, if I have my price above my 10 MA, that will be a confirmation to enter buys. Yeah, so for now, no business. We wait. Boom 500. You can see what happened. That is what I was talking about. We were supposed to enter immediately when price goes below our 10 MA, and we missed that opportunity. But it doesn't mean we cannot enter even now. So let's enter now, and that means our stop loss is going to be above our 10 MA. So means we are looking for this sell. This sell may not even reach all the way here, since it is a pennant. It can easily look for something like this right here, or you can even take your profits around 50% right there, yeah, to be safe. It may not go all the way down below here. It may come around 50% and 61.8, and then bounces back to break and continue with a buy. Why? Because the general trend is a buy. The general trend is a buy. We are still continuing with that buy. We are likely to see that buy and then come in later with a sell. So for now, that's why it is a bit tricky for you to hold for long when you're in sells. Yeah. All right, so that's enough on Boom 500. V25S, it took me out. I think we had entered this. Yes, we had entered that. I was looking for buys to continue, and that's why our tight stop loss was inevitable. And I told you it was a risky one because we were looking for this. It was like a retest trade we were looking for. So if we go to H4, the sell is on, but this is weird. What is it looking for? Oh, it's M5. M5 was not ready to give us buys. Okay, so that was my bad. I did not look at M5. So that's where we got it wrong. M5 was not ready to give us entry. M5 was not ready. I was getting surprised what it is looking for up there. Yet on M5 it is actually going to look for these highs. Okay, so now we know that. So that's our bad there. That is our first loss. Okay, let's wait and see how it will play out. So wait and see how it will play out. All right, that is V25S. So for it, I will not enter again until I get a clear confirmation on M5, because the sales have to come through. They have to come through. This is what? This is V75. Yeah, it is reaching that conference area. It may have probably even reached it because I started to see some rejection coming in on H1. That price rejection there. Let's wait and see if it is going to actually continue. Let's wait. J50, we need a pullback there, then we can enter some sales. If we don't see one, then we cannot enter. J25, we need price to reach here, and then we can enter some buys. The general trend is gonna be a buy to at least come and test that level to give us a lower high, and then we later continue with the sells because that's a general trend. J10, we need buys, but all we need is price to be above our 10 MA, then we can comfortably enter buys. Then lastly was gold. We can only wait for We can only wait for M5 to give us an entry for the buys. This buy is just a short buy to reach there and then give us sells later. It may be tomorrow for the sells, but today may be for buys. But I can't enter buys now until M5 gives us a confirmation. So for now, no business. I think that's it. I hope you guys had a great time with me. We've entered crash. A buy there, boom 500. We've also entered a sell to look for this sell right here. V25 took us out due to M5 was not ready to sell, but the other time frames we are in for the sell, even though price is above our 10 MA, which is a bit risky for us there. So it can easily first go to that level. Wait, why did I put these two lines? Why did I put these two lines? I don't remember why. Okay, so I will eventually get to know why. Price, okay, this, I told you price may not go all the way back there, but it is a resistance area, so it can easily go back to it. It is a resistance area right there. So if price breaks this level, breaks out of this, it will be just a fake breakout, but later we'll see sells. If it breaks out of this structure, this trend line structure, which is sort of like a falling wedge. Yeah, it will be a fake breakout, and which will mean eventually we'll see sells later. So don't look for buys, wait for confirmation of sells. And now since it has already taken us out, you can only wait for M15 to be below our 10 MA to be the confirmation that you need to make that sell. So for now, no business on V25S. So we still remain with crash and boom 500 with our two trades, a sell on boom 500 and a buy on crash 500. Let me wish you guys a good day. See you tomorrow, same time, 10:30 to 11:30. Bye bye.